Hello, welcome to Freisy's Corner Bar. If you're joining us for the first time this evening, pull up a stool, have a seat, and I think you'll enjoy this evening's cocktail making session. This will be our fourth segment for Friday nights, and we're having a lot of fun doing this, and we hope that you guys are enjoying this as well. Shannon has a really cool cocktail for you guys that I think you're going to really enjoy. I tried it out last night. We shared one and it was awesome. I am actually going to be making a Bloody Mary appetizer tonight, and it's a very quick thing. I'm sure everybody has, if you're a gardener, have tomatoes, cucumbers, maybe even onions if you would like, but it's very simple. It's not something that necessarily goes with this cocktail that she's making, but it's along the same theme because she is using a cucumber-infused vodka from my garden, the cucumbers are, and I'm going to actually be using some of the same stuff. So why don't you follow me over here, and we'll get started. So it looks like a lot of stuff, but just imagine making a Bloody Mary at home. And that's basically what you're doing, except for you aren't going to use any kind of tomato juice or clamato or anything like that. So what I have here is gold tomatoes that I grew in the garden. And I'm a Kettle One guy. A little Tabasco, Worcestershire, a little rice vinegar, a lemon, celery, rosemary, jalapeno pepper, fresh basil, small cucumber that I took out of my garden. I went with a really small one, and I have some celery here. So, to get this started, oops, I have one other thing here. This is lemon pepper and celery salt. I did not have any lemon pepper, and I didn't have any celery salt, but I had lemon, I had pepper, I had salt, and I had celery seed. So I took that, put it into my mortar and pestle, and I just ground that all up, and it's basically the same thing. I used some lemon zest in there as well to give me that lemon pepper type flavor. So the first thing we're going to do is always wash your fruit from the store because it typically has some sort of a wax on it, and who knows where this has been. So drying that off. Slice. Now, if you don't like lemon in your Bloody Mary, you don't have to use it. One thing about this is if you like your Bloody Mary a certain way, you can make it that same way. I'm using a bunch of things that I thought would be really interesting. Everybody typically gets celery in their Bloody Mary to stir it with. We're using it mainly for some flavoring. Won't probably use all that. And this is just a little bit of rosemary. And we're just going to give that a real rough chop. So we don't really cut it down fine. We're just trying to release some of the oils in there. This is some basil from our friends Sue and Chris. Also the rosemary is. And just sprinkling a little of that in there. And then this is some jalapeno that I got out of my garden. I'm not going to put a lot of that in there, but a little bit of cucumber, a little bit of celery, and we throw these in there. However, what we want to do to these is we want to poke a few holes in these tomatoes so that the vodka can get into the tomato and give it a nice flavor. Because what's going to happen is we're going to marinate these for a couple of hours. Okay? And we take our vodka. Little bit of Tabasco. If you like it spicy, add more. If you like quite so much. That's okay. A little Worcestershire sauce. I throw a little rice vinegar in there because I think it kind of sweetens it up a little and adds kind of an interesting flavor. We'll take our poker here and we're just going to mix this all around. Now these are great for little appetizers. So you would let this sit for a couple of hours just at room temperature. You want to give it a stir every once in a while. And then we're rushing this along obviously. So then you take this, dip it in there, and you go, ooh my, that's really good. Even without sucking up all that vodka flavor, it's really good. I had my neighbor try it out this afternoon and shade all my other tomatoes that I had in my experiment. So, this recipe actually is something I made up. It's not a recipe that I found on the internet or something that we've made in the past. I got this idea from our friends Sue and Chris last Saturday when we were out in the boat at the Deep Hole. She brought this out as an appetizer and passed these around, and I thought it was awesome, so I thought I would make that tonight. So thank you, Sue and Chris. Hopefully we'll see you out at the Deep Hole this weekend. I'm going to turn this over to Shannon now. She is going to start our cocktail making session. So I'll still be here.
Hello everyone. I saw a lot of people joining. It's so glad to see Jill and Ron and Carolyn, and I didn't catch all of the other names because it was I was walking around with the camera. It's hard to read. So I am going to start out with the state fair, but first I just want to talk about infusing liquor. We have so many cucumbers and so many tomatoes. I've been trying to experiment how to use them in cocktails and the like. So what I did was you just basically, with the cucumbers, it's important that you peel and de-seed them because that's really where the bitter is, particularly if you're using cucumbers from your garden. If you're using English cucumbers or Japanese cucumbers, something like that, then it probably doesn't matter as much. This has marinated for 4 days. It probably could go a little longer. You probably want to do, you can marinate them anywhere from 4 days to 2 weeks. You really just want to keep checking the smell, and the taste once in a while. And you can literally use any liquor and any fruit or herb or vegetable that you like to make an infusion. And I didn't want to make it a lot. I just put 12 ounces of vodka in with the cucumber. So you can make as little or as much as you need. If you just not sure if you're going to like it, just make a little bit, perfect your recipe, and you can have a nice cucumber vodka. So I'm going to start with the state fair. So the state fair is served in a coupe glass. I've been, as always, you want to fill your glass with ice and water and chill it. So I'm just going to dump this out right now. So we have a nice chilled glass. And this recipe only has 4 ingredients. So it has cranberry juice. Now I actually made this cranberry juice. I'm not a fan of buying cranberry juice. So this week I made some fresh cranberry juice. This is completely unsweetened. Most of the time when you buy cranberry juice, it's highly sweetened. And last night when we made the test cocktails, just using it unsweetened made the drink too sour. So that's one of the things to remember if you're using a lot of citrus in your drink or something, and you find that drink is too sour, you need to add more sugar or more simple syrup to the recipe. So if you don't feel like it's quite to your liking or your taste, you can actually adjust the sugar level. If it's too sweet, just add less. If it's too sour, add a little more. So because this recipe calls for 1/4 ounce of sweetened cranberry juice, so I'm just going to use like an eighth of an ounce, not even less of the simple syrup, and then top it off with the cranberry juice. So it's 1/4 ounce cranberry juice. And then an orange liqueur. We used orange liqueur last week for the margarita. Orange liqueur is probably one of the more popular liqueurs that everybody probably has in their normal bar stock. One of the things I thought I might do next week is just talk about some of the base liqueurs that people may want to have and kind of some of the different drinks you can make. So this is just a Patron orange liqueur. Cointreau is a very popular one. Triple sec. There's lots of varieties of orange liqueur, so you just need to find the one that you like. And so I'm going to put in a half an ounce of the orange liqueur. And then we are going to use 3/4 ounce of fresh squeezed lime juice. Now with any of the citrus that you squeeze, you basically want to squeeze it and then you want to double strain it. So you really want to get all the pulp out and just have the lime juice. So I've already squeezed and strained this lime juice, and we are going to do 3/4 ounce of the lime. And then we are going to do our cucumber vodka. And this takes 1.5 ounces of cucumber vodka. So put the 1.5 ounces in. And then for those who've been watching, we know that any cocktail that has a juice or a citrus base in it, you shake. If it is what I call a liquor cocktail, if it's just all liquor and liqueurs, then you actually stir it. And what you're trying, there's a couple different things you do when you're adding ice and shaking. The first is, let me fill this shaker up with ice first. So there's two things you're doing. You are chilling the drink, but you're also diluting the drink. And so this drink is served straight up in a coupe glass, so you're not going to have melted ice. So this drink you actually want to give a pretty good shake. Now when you're shaking, it's not about shaking and breaking up the ice. It's more of a circular motion where you're actually stirring the ice. And you just want to keep shaking it until I do it till I can no longer hold on to the shaker anymore because it's so cold. And I can also tell by the sound of the ice as to whether the drink is actually has been diluted enough or shaken enough with the ice. And ideally, when you open it up, we use these small square, like triangular ice cubes. There'll be a lot of round edges on your ice, and you don't want shards in your drink. When you go to these restaurants and you get a martini and there's always like little ice shards floating around, that's not really a proper shake on the drink. So I'm just going to go a little bit longer. And then, as always, we're going to double strain. So this is the first strain. This basically just holds back the ice, and if you have any big chunks in there. And then a fine mesh strainer to get out anything that may actually be in the drink. And you want to make sure you don't jip anybody out of any of their liquor. You want to give it a good kick on the side. And then this cocktail, I basically took a paring knife and just pared a big long strip of the cucumber, and I kind of swirled it up and had it on ice. I'm just going to float that in the cocktail. So that is your State Fair. You can see it's a lovely pink, and we're going to give the lovely pink cocktail tonight. So I'm going to set this off to the side, and then we're going to move on to the next cocktail. First, I'm going to rinse out my strainer.
So Shannon, can you make infused vodkas like you see citron and the orange flavored and things, blueberry.
Yes, any of the vodkas that they sell in the store that are flavored, the citron, the orange, the vanilla, are all basically infused vodkas. So I find it's much more economical to just buy a 1.57 big liter of vodka, as Mike showed you, and then you can flavor up what you want, and you just have that amount of flavor vodka, unless you like one flavor and that's what you use all the time. But I know our friend Susan had asked whether you can put mangoes in there, and you can absolutely put any fruit or mango. And when you put the fruit in the cocktail, you want to have everything sit at room temperature. Nothing's going to go moldy, because as long as everything is submerged in that alcohol is going to prevent any mold or anything from developing on the fruit.
Can you eat the fruit?
Oh yeah. This is these alcoholic cucumbers are going to go great with the Bloody Mary tomatoes. So yeah, you absolutely can. Okay, so now we're going to go to the cucumber fresca. I actually made this recipe up. I had been looking at a couple different recipes, and I love a paloma, which is a tequila-based drink, and I love grapefruit drink cocktails, but I also wanted to feature the cucumber. So I thought that this sounded like an interesting combination, and we had, I like it, so I hope you guys do too. So the first thing so what we did, and we have a simple syrup recipe posted on the website. All the photos are posted there's a cocktail album that has photos of the recipes, and simple syrup is one of the recipes. But in the simple syrup, it also talks about how, just like you can infuse flavor into a liquor, you can also infuse flavor into your simple syrup. So this is a rosemary infused simple syrup, and our friends Sue and Chris gave us this fresh rosemary. We only have fresh mint. We need to actually plant an herb garden. So and it just smells beautiful. So if you like rosemary, you'll love that. So this is a 1/2 ounce of rosemary simple syrup, and 3/4 ounces of the fresh squeezed lime juice, and 1 ounce of the fresh squeezed grapefruit juice. So again, squeeze your juice, and you wanna strain it so that you're getting all that good juice in your cocktail. So 1 ounce of that, and then 2 ounces of the cucumber vodka. Now, this drink is a Fresca, so it has a lot of club soda in it, which makes it a really nice light cocktail. It's a cocktail that if you enjoy it, you can actually, it's a good afternoon sipping cocktail because there is so much club soda in it. It's not going to be over, alcohol tasting. So I've already prepared my glass. I serve this in a fizz glass, and as you can see, I took my cucumber strips and I lined the glass with those cucumber strips, and I filled the glass with about half full of ice. And then we're going to prime that glass by putting 2 ounces of club soda in the bottom of the glass. So I'm priming the glass. Now this again is a drink we're going to shake, but because this drink is being served over ice, we don't need to shake it for near as long. Basically, what we're doing with the shake here is we are just stirring it, bringing all the flavors together. So, a short shake on this is fine. So we're gonna shake it. And then, again, double strain it into the glass. And then top it off with more club soda. give this a little stir in the glass, just because get all of those good flavors together. And then I'm going to garnish this with a grapefruit rind and a little rosemary. And there we have our cucumber fresca. So we hope you guys enjoy this. If you enjoy us, give us a thumbs up. We're just curious, whether people are growing vegetables. If there's anything else you would like to see us make, we're open to suggestions. Give us some suggestions. Let us know, and we'll feature anything. Oh, one thing I forgot to mention. One of the things I'm also working on, which I think I'm going to feature this maybe next week, is so I have been doing a low carb eating plan for over a year and a half. And so I really, until recently, when I started hitting my goal, have not been drinking the fancy cocktails with the syrups and everything because of the sugar content in the syrups and in the liqueurs. So what I've been doing is I've been practicing making some different keto simple syrups. These are simple syrups that are made with sugar substitutes. This one actually looks promising, crystallized, and we're not so promising. So next week, if you're interested, I think I will be making some low carb cocktails with keto-friendly simple syrup. And I'm actually, one of the things I'm going to actually do is try to make a liqueur with the simple syrups as well, so the cocktail can actually be 100% keto friendly. So we might go. Okay.
All right.
So
have a good weekend, everybody. Thank you for watching.
Cheers.
Cheers. And I love you.
Love you.
Good night.
Good night.